And for me today it's a bit difficult to know where to begin.
In težko mi je danes sploh vedeti, kje naj začnem.
I have been reading a few things from philosopher Jeremy Rifkin.
Prebiral sem filozofijo Jeremija Rifkina.
I hope to bring some of his ideas to you.
Prinašam vam nekaj njegovih idej.
I've also been looking again at some of the older theories.
Pregledoval sem tudi nekaj starejših teorij.
I'm thinking of the theory of the self-determination by Daisy and Ryan.
Teorijo samodeterminacije od
Daisy and Ryan.
Daisy and Ryan.
And all of these ideas together,
vse te ideje skupaj,
I'm looking at not so much what brings us conflict in the world.
Skozi nje ne gledam toliko, koliko nam prinašajo konflikte.
I'm more trying to see how can we understand each other better.
Temveč bolj, kako lahko bolje razumemo drug drugega.
One of the things that I'm working on at the moment is empathy.
Stvar, s katero se trenutno ukvarjam, je empatija. Ena od stvari, s katero se ukvarjam, je empatija.
It's one of my fields of research also.
To je tudi eno od področij mojih raziskav.
And I believe that in empathy we might have a few answers.
In verjamem, da nam empatija lahko da nekaj odgovorov.
I'm going to start with some ideas from the self-determination theory.
Nekaj idej iz te teorije samoopredeljevanja. Hvala.
If you look at what do you need to feel happy?
Če pomislimo, kaj potrebujemo, da bi bili srečni.
Think for yourself, what would you need? What is it that you need to be happy?
Pomislite sami, kaj potrebujete, da bi bili srečni.
The three factors that Daisy and Ryan came up with.
S tremi idejami sta prišla Daisy in Ryan.
Is that the first thing we need is a feeling of connection.
Prva je občutek povezanosti.
The second they call a feeling of competence.
Drugi je občutek kompetentnosti.
Which I prefer to translate into the feeling of safety.
Ki jo jaz rajši prevedem kot občutek varnosti.
And the third one is the feeling of autonomy.
In tretji je občutek samostojnosti, avtonomnosti.
If you take those three together, that is the basis from which we can even build.
In vse tri so osnova, na kateri lahko gradimo.
Because only then do we really have the space to think about purpose.
Ker šele takrat lahko dobimo občutek namena.
The next idea that pops up into my head is differences.
Naslednja ideja, ki mi pride na misel, so razlike, različnosti.
If I were to ask you what is multitasking,
če bi vas vprašal, kaj je mnogoopravilnost ali multitasking,
does anybody have an idea what that is?
Ima kdo kakšno idejo, kaj to je?
Does anybody know who can do that better and who can not do that well?
Lahko razumete ali vidite, kdo lahko to dobro opravlja in kdo niti ne tako dobro?
I promise you have the wrong idea.
In vam povem, da imate napačno idejo.
Women cannot multitask.
Ženske nimajo te sposobnosti multitaskinga.
Nor can men.
Niti moški.
The differences are so small that they're actually negligible.
Razlike between sexes.
Yeah.
Razlike med moškimi in ženskami so tako majhne, da so zanemarljive.
All research shows that both men and women should not multitask.
Raziskave pravijo, da ne moški, ne ženske ne bi smeli biti multitasking, se pravi, delati več stvari naenkrat.
Oh, why am I mentioning this?
Zakaj to omenjam?
Because if you look at the differences between any kind of people,
če gledamo na razlike med katerimi koli ljudmi,
whether it's male, female,
ženskami, moškimi,
whatever race you're from, it doesn't matter what,
različnimi rasami,
doesn't matter what characteristic you choose.
Niso pomembne karakteristike, ki jim jih dajemo.
The difference within the group
razlike znotraj skupin
is bigger than the difference between the groups.
Je večja kot, se pravi, razlika znotraj skupine je večja kot razlika med skupinami.
Which means that we're actually a lot more similar than what we think.
To pomeni, da smo si veliko bolj podobni, kot si mislimo.
In the many cultures that I've had the opportunity to live in,
imel sem priliko živeti v različnih kulturah.
I have managed to feel at home everywhere.
In uspelo mi je, da sem se v vsaki počutil doma.
And why?
Zakaj?
I think because I realized that everybody seems to want the same thing.
Zato, ker mislim, da vsak pravzaprav želi eno in isto stvar.
To start with one of the ideas from Jeremy Rifkin.
Če naj začnem z idejo Jeremija Rifkina, eno od idej.
And this starts with the whole idea of our need to feel safe.
To je ta ideja o potrebi, da se počutimo varne.
You can think of it this way, we have what we call a negativity bias.
Imamo v sebi neke negativne predsodke.
Let me explain.
Naj to razložim.
If you're walking in the forest and you see a lion,
če hodite po gozdu in zagledate leva,
and you do not actually look at this lion and make a decision whether it's safe or not, and you don't make a decision whether the situation is safe.
Se ne odločite takoj, ali je varno ali ne.
You're not going to live very long.
Ne boste dolgo živeli.
So purely from a point of view of evolution, we have to concentrate on negative information.
Se pravi, zaradi že evolucijsko gledano moramo upoštevati te negativne informacije.
So everything that's different, everything that's new is scary.
Vse, kar iz tega pogleda je vse, kar je novo, lahko tudi strašljivo in kar je drugačno.
Jeremy Rifkin says, when we were still in our very small ancient community,
Jeremy Rifkin pravi, da takrat, ko smo še bili v zelo majhnih skupnostih,
the only thing that was important was how far could you shout.
Je bilo najpomembnejše to, kako daleč si lahko segel s svojim kričanjem.
Everything that was over the hill,
vse, kar je bilo čez hrib,
was alien.
Je bilo tuje.
And scary.
In strašljivo.
So you had to stick to your tribe.
Se pravi, si moral držati se svojega plemena.
This is the whole story of us and them.
To je cela ta zgodba nas in njih.
So the tribe isn't the tribe anymore because we've had some change in civilization since then.
Plemenskega življenja ni več, ker smo od takrat civilizacijsko napredovali, dosegli določene stvari.
So we start identifying with larger groups.
In se zato identificiramo z večjimi skupinami.
Like, we're in which country?
Kot, na primer, v kateri državi smo.
We're in Slovenia, but a border, what is a border?
Na primer Slovenija, ampak meja, kaj pa je meja?
Did somebody draw a line there?
Je kdo narisal črto?
So a border doesn't exist. We create a border.
Meja sama ne obstaja, mi jo ustvarimo.
This is the same idea, but because we're all living in a country called Slovenia,
Ampak ker živimo v državi, ki se imenuje Slovenija,
we identify with other Slovenians.
se identificiramo z drugimi Slovenci.
So we have become another we.
Zato smo postali drugi mi.
And everything that's not inside our border is not us,
In vse, kar ni znotraj teh naših meja, nismo mi.
is alien.
Je tuje.
It comes from Mars. Oh no, that's the name.
Mogoče prihaja z Marsa. Ne, to so moški, ki prihajajo z Marsa.
We can bring it even further and then go to religion.
Lahko gremo še dlje, naprimer k religiji, k veri, verstvu.
This is the story of the world becoming smaller.
To je zgodba o svetu, ki se zmanjšuje.
Now, instead of only looking at us as Slovenians,
Pravi, ne gledamo več sebe samo kot Slovence,
we start looking at ourselves as Christians or Muslims
ampak
or Jews.
se opredeljujemo kot kristjane ali muslimane ali jude.
So why cannot we extend the global family?
Zakaj torej ne bi razširili globalno te družine,
To be all humans?
da bi bili vsi ljudje?
This is the shift in empathy.
To je preobrat v empatiji.
Because what is empathy?
Kaj je empatija pravzaprav?
If we were to live in a utopia,
Če bi živeli v utopiji,
you wouldn't need empathy.
ne bi potrebovali empatije.
It might sound strange, doesn't it?
Sliši se čudno, mogoče, ne?
Let me give you another example in the same idea.
Naj vam dam še kakšen primer v toku teh idej.
What if we had a society without criminals?
Kaj, če bi imeli družbo brez kriminalcev?
Would we still know what society is?
Bi še vedeli, kaj je družba?
We need people to show us the boundaries of what is acceptable.
Potrebujemo ljudi, da nam pokažejo meje tega, kar je sprejemljivo.
Let's push that idea into empathy.
Zato potisnimo to idejo proti empatiji.
If there is utopia, why do you need empathy?
Če obstaja utopija, zakaj potrebujemo empatijo?
Empathy only really has any importance as soon as you look at suffering and mortality.
Empatija ima smisel samo takrat, kadar obstaja trpljenje, suffering and
Mortality.
in pa smrtnost.
Why do I say that? Why do I say that?
Zakaj pravim to?
What happens when you see somebody in your family doing something dangerous?
Kaj naredite, če nekdo v vaši družini dela nekaj nevarnega?
Or having to deal with something that is very sad?
Ali se morate soočiti z nečim, kar je žalostno?
Why do you feel emotions at that moment?
Zakaj v tem trenutku se pojavijo čustva v vas?
It's because you connect with your mortality.
Ker se povežete s svojo smrtnostjo.
You see that the other person has the ability to suffer.
Vidite, da ima druga oseba sposobnost, da pravzaprav trpi.
And you know you can suffer.
In s tem veste, da tudi vi lahko
In
trpite.
fact, I'm going to bet that most of us have had some form of suffering in our life.
V glavnem lahko rečemo, da vsak od nas je občutil trpljenje kdaj v svojem življenju.
So if empathy is about an incomplete world,
Če je empatija del nepopolnega sveta.
Isn't multicultural also?
Ni tudi empatija multikulturna.
What if we're looking too narrow at this idea of multiculture?
Kaj če imamo potrebo, da bi zožili to multikulturnost?
In Holland, the Queen made a rather strange statement.
Na Nizozemskem je kraljica dala nekoliko čudno izjavo.
You should remember she comes from Argentina.
Če se ne spomnite, ona prihaja iz Argentine.
She said, there's no such thing as Dutch culture.
Izjavila je, da nizozemska kultura sploh ne obstaja, da tega sploh ni.
People were very upset with her.
In ljudje so bili kar razburjeni na to izjavo.
But she's right.
Vendar ima prav.
If you live in Amsterdam,
če živite v Amsterdamu,
you have completely different norms and values.
Imate čisto drugačna merila in vrednote.
Than when you live in one of the small villages of the Bible Belt.
Kot če živite v eni od majhnih vasic Bible Belt, that's
villages where zelo strog krščanstvo.
Kot če živite v eni vasici, ki ima stroge moralne okvirje.
We're not even allowed to have a television.
Kjer niti ni dovoljeno, da bi imeli televizijo.
So perhaps we shouldn't talk about multiculture, but we should talk about diversity.
Mogoče sploh ne bi smeli govoriti o multikulturnosti, ampak o raznolikosti.
Because I guarantee you, not one of us in this room right now
Kajti zagotavljam vam, da niti eden od nas v tej sobi
is the same.
Ni isti kot nekdo drug. Ni enak kot kdo drug.
So do we have a diversity in this room?
Torej imamo v tej sobi raznolikost.
You better believe it.
Lahko ste prepričani, da jo imamo.
So why should we limit empathy?
Zakaj bi torej omejevali empatijo
to any label?
In ji dajali kakršnokoli oznako, etiketo.
Because the title of what I was going to talk to you about today
Naslov tega, kar naj bi vam danes govoril,
is losing the labels.
Je, da odstranimo te oznake.
A very short thought exercise.
Zelo kratka miselna vaja.
What is the most important value in Christianity?
Kaj je najpomembnejša vrednota v krščanstvu?
Ljubezen.
Okay, ljubezen. What is the most important value in the Muslim tradition?
Kaj je najpomembnejša vrednota v muslimanski kulturi?
Lojalnost. Strah pred Bogom.
Ljubezen.
Ljubezen. Se pravi, spet ljubezen.
Spet ljubezen. Now I ask you, if you call something Christian love,
če nečemu rečete krščanska ljubezen,
or if you call something Muslim love,
ali če nečemu rečete muslimanska ljubezen,
aren't we busy polarizing?
Ali nismo preveč zaposleni s tem, da polariziramo stvari?
Because aren't we talking about the same love?
Ali ne govorimo o eni in isti ljubezni?
This is what I mean about losing the label.
To je to, kar mislim s tem, da snamemo oznake.
And with empathy, I think the whole idea is to lose a lot of different labels.
In pri empatiji je ravno to, da te oznake, da te oznake izginejo.
How am I doing with time? I lose track of time.
Yeah, you can keep on for
You have double.
another 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes.
Okay. Empathy.
Empatija.
Our Western world,
Naš zahodni svet
we have a culture.
ima svojo kulturo.
Our culture is to tell.
Naša kultura je, da kako bi to prevedli?
Predava.
Okay.
That we have lectures.
That you mean to order.
No, we tell people what they should think. We tell people.
Pravi, da pridigamo, kaj je treba delati, pa kako mogoče.
That's why we have lectures here.
Zato imamo tudi predavanja.
It's based on what we call a culture of guilt.
In ima svoj izvor v kulturi krivde, v vrojenem občutku krivde. Mislim, da. Yes.
What do I mean by that?
Kaj s tem mislim?
If something happens in the world,
Če se v svetu nekaj zgodi,
something happens in your life,
naprimer, ali v vašem življenju se nekaj zgodi,
the idea is that you look for who or what is wrong,
je takoj na vrsti to, da pogledate, kdo, what is wrong, or what
what or who is wrong.
Ja, kdo ali kaj nima prav.
Fix it,
To uredimo
and then everything's okay.
in potem je spet vse v redu.
Who of you has ever had a fight with your partner?
Kdo od vas je kdaj imel kakšen spor s svojim
Never,
partnerjem?
you've all got perfect relations.
Nihče. Vsi imamo popolne odnose v partnerstvu.
Now let's say you've had an argument with your partner and we have discovered you were wrong.
Naprimer, recimo, da imamo spor, da se skregamo s svojim partnerjem in ugotovimo, nimaš prav.
Now what?
Kaj zdaj?
Fix it? How do you fix it?
Urediti je treba to, ampak kako?
This is our whole guilt culture speaking.
To je spet vsa ta naša občutek zavest krivde, ki jo imamo.
What's the opposite?
In kaj je nasprotje tega?
The opposite isn't who is wrong or what is wrong.
Nasprotje ni, kaj je narobe ali kdo nima prav.
It's how do we continue? How do we go to the future?
Ampak stvar je v tem, kako nadaljevati, kako iti naprej, čez to, v prihodnost.
And every study which shows how to go to the future,
In vsaka študija o tem, kako nadaljevati,
also scientific studies,
tudi znanstvene študije,
they say relationship is number one.
Govorijo eno stvar. Medsebojni odnos je številka 1 po pomembnosti.
So how do we improve relationships?
Kako torej popravimo oziroma izboljšamo odnose?
And this is where empathy comes in.
In tukaj vstopi empatija.
How can I let go of my labels?
Kako lahko odpustim svoje označbe, svoje etikete
And imagine being in the shoes of the other person.
in si predstavljam, kako je biti v koži druge osebe.
It sounds simple, doesn't it?
Zdi se zelo preprosto, ne?
Is it simple?
Je tudi res preprosto.
One of my books is called Observational Listening.
Ena od mojih knjig ima naslov poslušanje s pomočjo opazovanja.
And the point I'm trying to make is the more we observe,
to, kar želim v njej povedati, je, da bolj kot opazujemo,
what the emotion of the other person is,
kakšne so občutki oziroma čustva druge osebe,
instead of looking at our own emotions,
namesto da gledamo ves čas, kakšni so občutki moji,
the more we can focus on the other's emotion and react on the other's emotion,
bolj smo sposobni videti občutke druge osebe in se odzvati na nje,
the easier empathy becomes.
in s tem postane empatija lažja. Vse lažja in lažja.
I'm going to close off my story.
Zaključil bom to svojo zgodbo
By how do I say this? How do we really lose the labels is my question.
Na kakšen način res lahko opustimo označbe?
I believe relationship.
Verjamem, da je odnos v odnosu.
I believe it's about losing our guilt culture.
S tem, da opustimo to svojo kulturo oziroma vrojen občutek krivde.
It's about learning to listen.
Da se naučimo poslušati.
And with listening, I don't mean just hearing.
In s tem ne mislim samo fizično slišati.
I mean listening to the emotions of the other person.
Temveč res prisluhniti čustvom druge osebe.
Because I am an idealist.
Ker sem idealist.
And I do want to change the world.
In želim spremeniti svet.
But I can't do it on my own.
Ne morem pa tega narediti sam.
So the only thing I can really do, I believe,
in verjamem, da je edina stvar, ki jo lahko sam naredim,
is help everybody become 0.5 millimeter more empathic.
Da pomagam vsakomur, da postane vsaj 1 milimeter bolj empatičen, majčkeno bolj empatičen.
Thank you for your attention.
Hvala za pozornost.